What if the life you've been protecting yourself from is actually the life you were meant to live? Usman, a 34-year-old office worker who wakes up every morning to the same alarm, the same commute, the same desk, and a quiet, growing feeling that something is deeply wrong. He isn't unhappy enough to cry, but he isn't alive enough to feel joy. He exists in a gray middle ground. Usman is safe. Usman is stuck. And somewhere deep inside, Usman knows it. The beige walls of his apartment, the coffee he makes out of habit rather than desire, the polite smiles he exchanges with coworkers. His life is organized, clean, and quietly suffocating. Contrast his orderly outer world with the restless inner world he never speaks about. The travel magazines he flips through but never acts on. The dreams he dismisses as impractical before they even fully form. The scene should feel familiar to viewers, a mirror they can't look away from. This man's comfort zone tightens like a slow vice. He gets passed over for a promotion he didn't even truly want. He attends a friend's wedding and feels a pang of envy, not for the marriage, but for the aliveness in the room. He starts asking himself quiet, dangerous questions late at night. Is this it? Is this all there is? Most people reach this exact moment and then go back to sleep. They silence the question and return to routine. But what Usman does next changes everything. The internal war between his fear of the unknown and the growing pain of staying still. His comfort zone, once a refuge, now feels like a cage with an unlocked door, and he's the one choosing not to open it. A small but pivotal moment cracks Usman open. He stumbles across an old letter he wrote to himself at age 22. Shaken, he reaches out to an old friend, Marcus, who had quit a stable career years ago to travel. Over coffee, Marcus doesn't give Usman a motivational speech. Instead, he asks him one quiet question. What would you do if you weren't afraid? Usman has no answer, and that silence becomes the loudest thing he has ever heard. Marcus becomes the gentle guide, not by pushing Usman, but by reflecting back the version of himself Usman has buried. Marcus challenges Usman to do one thing outside his comfort zone every day for 30 days. Nothing dramatic. It's just small acts of courage. The first few days are almost laughable. Usman speaks to a stranger, takes a different route home. He signs up for a pottery class he quits after 2 sessions. But slowly, something shifts. On day 19, Usman books a solo weekend trip to a city he's never visited. He sits alone at a small restaurant, orders something unfamiliar, and watches the world move around him. And for the first time in years, he feels present. Instead of panic, he feels an overwhelming, unexpected sense of peace. The unlocked door wasn't a cliff, it was a threshold. And Usman has finally stepped through it. Usman calls Marcus from that restaurant table. Marcus listens, then says something simple. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's deciding that what's waiting on the other side matters more than the fear itself. The lesson crystallizes. Comfort zones don't protect us from pain, they protect us from growth, from surprise. This isn't just Usman's story. This is the story of anyone who has ever chosen the familiar over the fulfilling. What door have you been standing in front of, afraid to open? 6 months later, Usman's life isn't unrecognizable, but he is. He hasn't quit his job, but he has started saying yes more than no. He plays the guitar again. He's planning a longer trip. He laughs more easily. The beige walls are still there, but they no longer define him. His comfort zone still exists, but it has expanded, stretched by every small act of courage he chose. Usman no longer feels like a passenger in his own life. He feels finally like the one holding the wheel. Freedom doesn't always look like a dramatic leap. Sometimes it looks like one small, courageous choice made today, then again tomorrow. If Usman's story reminded you of your own unlocked door, share this with someone who needs the nudge. And if you're ready to keep growing, subscribe, because more stories like this one are waiting for you.